What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Wanted to jump in today just as the month gets going here. We're getting into July, it's getting hot. You know, wanted to kind of jump into my top 5 baits that I like to throw this time of year, and some of it will probably be things you guys have seen, agree with. Other things may be a little bit different, some different stuff that I do. Obviously I'm in the Northeast, so this is going to be more towards that, towards, you know, the Northeast, Connecticut, New York, New Hampshire, that area over, you know, TVA stuff, whatever, not ledge fishing, not doing any of that, chasing, you know, more like those offshore bait chasing fish or shallow grass, things like that. So a lot of these top baits things for me, I know when I watch them, it seems like you kind of got to do some kind of figuring if you're up here in the Northeast. So this one's going to be more based on that. But these are my top baits. And I mean, even if I went down south right now, it's going to be things that I'm going to throw. But definitely one of these for sure. It's definitely geared more towards the Northeast. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys think that there's different baits I should have put on here or something, you know, it's kind of hard to just narrow it down to 5. But these are my 5 top baits for the month of July. All right, guys, so we're going to start off shallow. Shallow fishing, I love to do it. I don't mind putting the scope in the water either, but I love going shallow. And one of the most fun ways to catch them this time of year is a flapping frog. This is from Spro. Won a lot of money on this a couple years ago down in Florida, but this time of year, once those pads up here come up, I love throwing this around. And the good thing about this frog is you can throw it literally anywhere. You can kind of like reel it in, kind of like buzz it in, the legs kick, it makes a little bubble trail. So I love that about this frog. But throwing this on a Dobbins Fury series, this is their frog rod. I like it. And then I think the key to that is a fast reel. So I'm throwing this on a 9 5-to-1, so you can catch up to those fish when they come blow up on it. You want to get that hook in them, reel them to the boat as fast as you can. So the reel is important for me, but I like this rod. It's good. Doesn't have a ton, I mean, it has a lot of backbone, but for a frog rod, it's not like the most powerful rod I've ever used. But I'm throwing 40 to 50 pound braid on this. Obviously fishing out of the kayak, I think it's a little bit different. When I set the hook, or, you know, kayak guys set the hook, we move towards that fish. And if they're hung up in that really thick stuff, like, we're gonna pull ourselves towards that. We're in a boat, you need the rod, you need the line to like horse those fish to you. The kayaks, we can go right in there. Like, we can track in no water and go get those fish if we have to, if they get really hung up. So I don't go super, super heavy on any of it, and haven't had an issue, but kind of, you know, that's my mindset in the kayak. If I was going in a boat, everything would be a little bit heavier, but in the kayak I can get away with lighter, so I do. But yeah, that's my frog rod. That'll be kind of setup number 1 for me this time of year. Going to setup number 2, we'll keep it kind of shallow and we'll go spinning rods. This one might be a little bit more of a sleeper, but the Spybait. For me up here, the Spybait has been, it doesn't get thrown a lot. The hookup ratios on them are absolutely horrible. So that's probably why, but they do get bit. You get a lot of big fish on them, largemouth and smallmouth. You'll catch both. I love throwing them. The hookup's tough. This is the new one from Great Lakes Finesse. This is their new Spybait. I forget the name of it, but it's got this hook in the back, which is nice. It's kind of like a mini frog hook, but it has the rest of those, you know, the 2 trebles that you're used to, and then that mini frog hook. So it kind of is a little bit different than some of the stuff you've seen out there, but that it's solid. I threw it a bunch already, late June, but I'm a big fan of that bait and just Spybaits in general. What I do with these is try to like wind them around, you know, grass flats or anywhere that has like long tapering flats or points, because it doesn't get super, super deep, but those fish will get up there and chase perch, like little perch around, especially this time of year. They'll be around those bluegill, all the fry, all that stuff still, but they'll get onto those little baits, and that thing is just a great imitation of those, and yeah, catch a ton of fish on it. So what I do is I throw that on 10-pound braid, 10 to 12 pound braid, I guess. I like 10, but just because it casts a lot further. And then I also go to 10-pound Invis-X with, this is a Daiwa rod. Daiwa, it's a Tula Universal Long Cast 7.6. Like I said, the hookup ratio isn't great. I haven't found the perfect rod for this. And as you can tell, just in the first 2 rods, my rods are all over the place. I use whatever I can find. None of this is sponsored stuff. So I literally just buy what I want and use it. So this one I've been trying out. This is a Daiwa Tula 7.6. I like it for this. It's soft. It keeps them pinned. Haven't caught a ton of fish on it yet, but I do like it. If you guys have a rod that works better for spybaits, let me know. Always looking to try new things. But this is the Shimano Vanford. This is a 3000 size. I tend to go toward the 2500 size, but the 3000 size is not bad. Either way, that's a deal for me up here this time of year. Throw it around those flats, especially if there's like clumpy grass or like cabbagey grass. I find a lot of luck around those. Like if you can, obviously you can't reel it through the grass, but if you can reel it right off the side, or those fish will use that as an ambush point and come get that spybait. And yeah, ton of fun if you can get them to go on it. And some days up here, you know, you have 30, 40, 50 fish days on a spybait. It's just insane. So solid bait to use. My favorite thing this time of year to throw, without question, because we don't get a ton of time to do it up here in the north. You can throw crankbaits all year, but these big 20-foot diving crankbaits or 25s or whatever, like we have a very short window. And that 4th of July time frame has always been like a magical weekend for me for these deep cranks. So definitely something that I will have on this whole month. And yeah, this just kind of the deal for me this time of year. Typically I'm throwing 12-pound line. This is 15. Really depends on how deep you're trying to get these baits. Are you trying to get down to, you know, are you trying to hit that 20 mark, or can you get it to like 17, something like that? Typically this time of year I'm cranking anything from 17 to 24. If I need to get down to 24, you're on like 8XD and light line, and gets kind of sketchy. So if you're fishing rocks, things like that, you might want to upsize and, you know, just kind of tinker with things, play with it. But I don't think a lot of guys throw this up here, and it is a staple for me this time of year. Won a lot of tournaments on it, local stuff, just because everybody else is out shaking minnows and beating the bank. So just a little bit different, gives them a different profile, gives them that reaction bite. This is the Lose 6XD rod. It's a medium heavy, extra fast 7.6. I like it. It's, you know, pretty cheap, inexpensive, but it's a good cranking rod. Especially for these bigger baits. Nothing huge, like an 8XD on this is a lot, but 6XDs, 20-foot divers, whatever, like this is a DT 20, perfect on this rod. And I throw this on a 6.2 to 1. I think it's 6.2, yeah, 6.2 to 1 Lose KVD. Again, super cheap reel. You will kind of burn through them. They're not the greatest reel I've ever used, but for cranking, I like them. They're just pretty consistent. The drag is good. And I think they're like 99 bucks. So solid setup here. I think the rod is like 120, reel's like right around 100. Solid cranking setup. Straight fluorocarbon, of course, just to get that bait down. But the crankbaits, deep cranking, that is the deal for me this time of year. If it's not something you do, go to one of your favorite lakes and just lock it in your hand and try it. You're gonna catch giant fish on it. It's gonna wear you out, but you'll fall in love with it if you do it enough. Next, kind of like I just touched on, minnow shaking. Martin's Custom Baits minnow head, 3/16 ounce. That's kind of my starting place everywhere I go. But you know, once these fish get out offshore this time of year, they'll get on bait, they'll get on brush, they'll get on rocks, they'll get on a little bit of everything, and every single fish in the world eats minnows. So just always tied on this time of year. You can kind of go with a bunch of different things. You can throw a drop shot, you can throw other things, but with the forward facing and the minnow, kind of hard to beat this time of year. So I lock this into my boat all the way through. I mean, it's on there all year basically now, but it'll be on there this month, and I'll throw it a ton, catch a lot of good fish on it. So like I said, 3/16 is where I start. That's just kind of my standard, whether I'm throwing a mooch minnow or Sakamata shad or any other minnow that you have, any range of bait. TPE is obviously going to be a little bit higher floating, so kind of keep that in mind, but you can, you know, pick and choose what you like. That's just been a good starting point for me, fishing anywhere up to like 20, 30 feet. 3/16 gets you down there quick enough, but you can either work it quick or you can slow it down enough to get those fish to bite it. So if you could only buy one pack of minnow heads, that 3/16 size is what I would start with. 10 to 12 pound line typically. Keep it pretty light because, you know, if fish are line shy, then it helps with that. And also you shouldn't be fishing around like a ton of cover, like you're kind of floating the minnow through the water column so you're not banging off anything. So keep your line right around that 10 pound. And then again, 10 pound braid. Throwing this on a 2500 size Stratic. I like the Stratics. I have issues with the drag washers in them, but again, you know, that's all right. They're like $3 maybe, so you can replace them pretty easy. This is the smallmouth special. This is the same thing I throw a drop shot on a lot. This is a KVD lose rod. Again, it's like right around $100, I want to say. It's not super expensive, 7.4. Got a really good tip to it. It's nice and soft. But enough backbone to kind of keep those fish pinned when you do get them. So love that for my minnows. Minnow, solid pick for the month of July. Last but not least, when we go up shallow or deep, kind of a universal deal here. I will always have the HD cover tied on. Some more of like a flapping trailer. But that's just a bigger profile jig. Those fish are eating bigger profile baits. Their bodies need to, you know, have something a little bit bigger. They eat more often, bigger meals, throw that big jig. It's time of year to do it. Kind of move away from the finesse stuff unless I'm like really smallmouth fishing or something like that. But if I'm especially largemouth fishing around grass, docks, heavier cover, trees, laydowns, pads, whatever, this is kind of my all around go-to HD cover jig. Throw this in a 1/2 ounce most of the time, and that's the camo color. Tons of different colors to throw depending on water clarity. I keep it pretty simple, like either black and blue, or I go to the green pumpkin style and do that, but you know, use whatever you like. This is on a 7.5 to 1 reel, 30 pound braid to a 17 pound fluorocarbon leader. And this is a Lose TP2 Pro Series tournament. I think it's like a tournament series, maybe, I don't know. TP2 rod. It's their jig rod, 7.3 medium heavy, extra fast. It literally says jig on it. I like it. It's good. You can kind of skip this jig around. You can get them out of the cover. It's got a good backbone to it, but a pretty soft tip. So if you're, you know, feel the bite, but you can also get those fish out of the cover with this. So I love this setup for it. That jig right there is a beast. Great hook in it. And yeah, so what I do with this, you know, fishing around really anything. Like I said before, pads, docks, rocks, getting it through in and out of trees, laydowns, dragging it out deep through like brush or stumps, anything like that. But having a trailer that moves a lot of water and flaps a lot just draws those fish a little bit further, I think. So yeah, I mean, those are my, if I could only bring 5, which I never do, but if I could only bring 5 out tomorrow, these are the 5 rods I'm gonna bring, and kind of covers you from shallow to deep and everything in between. If you're fishing grass, heavy cover, throw that frog. If you're out on a grass flat, throw that spybait. If you're out deep, you know, rocks or points or anything, throw that crankbait. If you're out scoping, throw the minnow. And then if you are out, you can drag that jig around and catch those from 30 feet all the way up to 2 feet. So covers your whole water column. These are my top 5 baits. If you guys have anything that you would add or take away that you say that does not work at all in the month of July, let me know. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.